Hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, bringing you another Kerbal Space Program video. And today we're going to be taking a bit of a break from the Kakabo missions. And today we're going to do a mission that I've been a bit inspired by one of Bogue's videos to do, and where the video in particular was the one where Bogue sent probes into the atmospheres of each of the OPM, the Outer Planets gas giants. And so, well, since I've kind of now have this little tradition in my Kerbal Space Program series of flying space planes into gas giants, I figured let's do a mission where we go into all, we're gonna go into all the gas giants, well, starting from Jool, then Sarnus, then Erlum, then Naden, and where I'm actually, instead of a normal kind of space plane, I'm gonna use actually a bit of a different design, a bit of a twist on that concept. Okay, so this is the plane we're gonna be using today, and oh, this one in particular, well, I mean, at first glance, it doesn't entirely look hugely different from the planes that I've used previously on my channel. Though I guess one main difference is it's using the OPT fuselage parts again, and also using a slightly different cockpit. But the main difference is these two base lard engines on like outboard, off the tips of the wings, and this engine at the back, which is it's called the Ouroboros. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. It's the fusion tokamak engine from the Far Future Technologies mod. And actually, that's kind of what it looks like. But I have the boot tail, or boat tail mount to kind of make it sort of blend in more with the look of the plane. And since that this engine needs radiators to keep it cool, I have these are fuel tanks from the procedural parts mod that I purely have here just to provide a place to put those radiators. Though I'm also making use of them to provide a place for an additional place for storing liquid hydrogen fuel. And so pretty much all the fuselage of this, including the wings, is dedicated for liquid hydrogen fuel. And this middle fuselage section is for the liquid deuterium and liquid helium-3 fuel. And also in this part's of the fuselage also for liquid hydrogen. And I also have one of the Stirling tankage tanks with just a very small amount of the uranite in it, because if I didn't have this, the center of mass is not quite where I need it to be for this plane to be stable. So that's why I have that in there. And also this is a battery bank, and this is a service bay with RTGs stuffed inside of it. And also the wings are I've made with the procedural wings mod, as well as the control surfaces, and the tail fin and the rudder. And so the whole point of these outer engines is just to get this into Kerbin orbit, and then they'll fall away, and then this plane just continues on it by itself. And so in my testing, just this engine by itself is capable of getting this thing into orbit, but by the time it's in orbit, it's used up most of its fuel. So that's kind of where those side mounted engines come in. And just also put some landing gear under them in order to keep it stable while it's on the runway. And these are these are air intakes for those jet engines, but these are the Hoover atmospheric ram scoops, which are also part of the Far Future Technologies mod. And since this engine runs on liquid hydrogen, liquid deuterium, and liquid helium-3, and those are also resources that can be harvested from the atmospheres of gas giants. So this plane, while within the atmosphere of whatever planet we're going to, can basically self-refuel itself. So just kind of another interesting take on a gas giant diver using this kind of an engine, this method of propulsion, as opposed to those engines, which just run off of any atmosphere and don't need any fuel at all. And so, without much further ado, I just think we're ready to launch this thing. Okay, so the takeoff of this thing is a little bit interesting. And just because, I mean, it might be possible to lift off before the end of the runway, but I'm just gonna use all of the runway to take off, just to ensure this thing takes off safely. Kind of interesting is only the tips of the wings and the tail fin actually have the firefly trails coming off of them. Okay, our engines started to cut out there, but we're already well on our way out of carbon atmosphere, so that's fine. And then from here we can leave carbon orbit. And now we'll jettison these things, or our wingtips, and then we'll light this engine. And then now we'll leave carbon. And then I'll go deorbit these, I'll deorbit those so that they won't be space debris. And then I'll get back to you once that is finished. And I guess we'll watch those running back into carbon. And I don't know what that lag was about. But I guess here we go. Goodbye, carbon. Okay, so apparently when we left carbon orbit, we were gonna have another intersect, like if we go all the way around and come back through here, we'd encounter carbon again. So I just did a brief little burn just to get out of that, so we can more freely do our inclination change maneuver to Jool. I mean, for all the trouble that, like, it's like throughout playing, like, in my series here, like, I've developed this, like, love-hate relationship with, like, it's the persistent thrust mod, or that allows you to do, non-physics time warp, like during maneuver burns like that. Is it like literally like what used to be like even if you could like do 4 times physics time warp, like you'd still have to, what used to be like a thing you would have to sit through for probably 5 to 10 minutes, you could just fly through it like in like 10 seconds. But you have to be, I would advise you be careful as to not warp past your, like warp so fast that you end up like burning too much. And then you have to spend even more fuel to correct that. But I mean, as awesome as it is to be able to just warp through burns like that, like I mean, it is awesome. But it's also like really annoying. Like whenever you undock your like if I were to have, like, say if I had a lander that I would undock from my main spacecraft, it's kind of becomes annoying because then I also have to contend with having to turn off, like disable the engines of the other craft, or else I can't time warp, and if I fire the engine on one craft, it fires the engine on the other for some bizarre reason. I don't know why the mod was designed like that, but it was. Like, I don't know for what purpose that serves, but it's more annoying than anything else. So it's like part of me wants to remove persistent thrust for that reason, but then part of me wants to keep it because I really enjoy just being able to just warp right through, like even like a 3 kilometers per second maneuver burn. Okay, so with that, we're now entering the Jool system. Okay, coming up on Tylo, which is going to slingshot us into a Jool, into an orbit around Jool. And I'm also gonna do the same thing, but with Lathe as well. And now we're should be encountering Lathe fairly soon. There, in fact, there it is. And then even that alone might be screenshot worthy or even thumbnail worthy. Yeah, the Jool system is just beautiful with especially Lathe and Jool with the uh like with parallax continued and the black rack and black rack volumetrics. And right from here, we just have to just lower our orbit and circularize. So I'm gonna have to be careful how much fuel we use. And also how fast we enter the Jool's atmosphere. Because, Jool is actually quite unforgiving, like when it comes to re-entry heating. And at least in a lot of my experiences. I think from here I'm just gonna... I wanna get my periapsis on the day side if possible. But, looks like it might work, but even though we are really cutting it close on our fuel. And there we have it. And by the way, like that white orbital line that became like this red orbital line, you saw this from the trajectories mod. So without it, my orbit would look like this. But with it, it would actually will calculate based on atmospheric drag what my actual trajectory is going to be once I enter the atmosphere. Oh, and I also already must have toggled the RAM scoops on, so those are going to start collecting hydrogen as soon as we enter the atmosphere, which we are now. And I'm gonna pitch up like this, just to kind of keep most of the brunt of the re-entry heat away from my cockpit. Probably also deploy air brakes as well. And I'll also have pull this up just so I can keep tabs on my temperatures. Okay. I don't like how hot that's getting, so I'm gonna do this. It looks like these are overheating, like those procedural fuel tanks. I'm gonna stay like this till we're through the brunt of the really hot phase of the re-entry. So another thing that this pitching up motion is doing for us is it's also at some point gonna halt our descent, thus and also give us more time to decelerate rather than just keep falling down in the thicker atmosphere and worsen our aerodynamic heating load. So I guess we didn't actually have to turn on the infinite temperature cheat. Unless I'll probably leave it off. So I don't know, maybe I'll just do a bit of this. Just to kind of bleed off our speed faster. And also try halt our ascent because we don't want to be going up, we want to be going down. Yeah, cockpit overheating, I know. Oh, and there's our fuel status of our fuel tanks, which are quite empty, but they are being refilled as we speak. And really at this point, it's just need to start descending. Okay, we have now entered this layer that's under the first level of clouds. I guess it's called the underworld. Actually begin our ascent now, and this maybe might give you a bit more of a chance to catch some of the ambiance as well. Okay, now I'm in orbit, but for some reason I have a bit less liquid hydrogen than I did in other runs or other takes of this mission. So I think I might do another, just not full dive, but just pass through Jool's atmosphere just to get more fuel, if that's possible. Okay, so I was able to refill my liquid hydrogen just by doing another, like, just kind of dip into the atmosphere with kind of, this is being the lowest point I went in. And then we're just going to get back into orbit from here. I've decided to end this video here. So thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to see more of my videos, share hit the bell for notifications. And peace out. Bye.